All the meetings to order. I want to welcome everyone this morning to monthly board meeting for Veterans Control. It seems like a long time since our last board meeting, but I guess it's only been 30 days. I guess it's a long time for you, James. The meeting we had, James, was far away in Cambodia. We missed you. In fact, a lot has happened since the last board meeting. Yes, we've gotten done with the legislative session. Legislative initiatives have come out. I think the governor's going to sign that into law this week. I guess 71 was signed this past week, which primarily has sort of tracks the rule. We're well on the way on implementation on that as well. Let me just pause for a moment and see if the other board members want to have welcoming remarks.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll be brief. I just want to again say good morning, and it's good to see the staff and to be here for our board meeting for the month of May. I want to just acknowledge the hard work that's been done and that continues to be done as we transition into our new model. I know how much work that's placed on many of you, and many who are not here. Please know that the board is aware. We appreciate what it is you're doing, trying to be as supportive of you as we can be. Please let us do that. Thank you for what you do. Appreciate being a part of it. Good to see you this morning.
Well, good morning. Good to see everyone, and it's always great to be here. And I was away last board meeting. Of course, I've been back for some time now. And, thank you for the opportunity to get to go to Cambodia. Of course, no place like America. Always great to come back home. Poor situation. Somebody asked me why was Cambodia noted as a third world country, and I said because there is no number 4. Very, very poor living conditions, and of course, in most of those third world countries, you know, their prisons and jails are quite different from ours. Most of the guards are on the inside, and all the inmates run everything on the inside. So it's great to be here. Got to see some things. My 13-year-old daughter went with me. We did eye clinics actually for poor people who would probably never have glasses, and it's just a real treat to get to see some of those people who were in their 50s and 60s, and all of a sudden they could see again when they had those glasses on. An amazing thing. I will tell you one story. As I was there at the eye clinic one day, and a young boy, I'm guessing he was somewhere between 10 and 12. I asked the translator what was his age, and he hung his head. He looked down at the dirt, and I asked the translator, did I say something wrong? And no, he said, Mr. Mills, he doesn't know how old he is. I said, well, when is his birthday? When's your birthday? And I said, Mr. Mills, he doesn't know when his birthday. And you know, we are very, very blessed. I think most of us know when our birthday is. Most of us may not want to remind ourselves how old we are, but most of us know our age. And I was just reminded again, it's not that whatever. And we are blessed to live in America and to be in Georgia and to have a job and to be a part of parole board meetings. So good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, all of you. We're coming up on summer, so like if this was an Army safety briefing, I would tell you, you know, guys, have your families out on the lake. Be careful, you know. Embrace this time with your children and your loved ones. I know I have one more that's in school now that graduates in about 20 days, 18 days, and counting. So, you know, just enjoy this time with your family. Everything that's going on with HB 310 and DCS, it's an exciting time. I think that we can really drive in this next phase in criminal justice, of course, that the governor has been taking the lead on, and really affect those families that are our customers, right? And really be able to provide them a level of service probably that they have never experienced before. So in that vein, and then the recuperative mindset and spirit, I think the folks that are going to be at DCS are going to have their hands full. And we're looking forward certainly to working with you. And good morning.
Excellent. All right, let's call our chaplain. He'll come and offer prayer.
Morning, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Vice Chairman, board members, let's pray. Dear God, we love you and we thank you for all that you have done to us, with us, and through us. God, we ask now, we invite and invoke your presence here this morning. God, we pray for these board members and those who are in leadership. God, we lift up our nation. We lift up the citizens of this nation and those men and women who are in uniform. And God, right now we pray for peace, and we pray for the hearts and minds of all men and women. And dear Master, despite everything that's going on and everything that seems to be wrong, God, we know that you are still in control. We know that you still sit on the throne and that you still have all power. Dear God, these and other blessings, we ask that you would be with us, that you would continue to guide, God, and direct us. These things we pray in thy name. Amen.
Jim has emailed each of the board members and sure you had an opportunity to look over that. This time the board will call for the adoption of the agenda. Is there a motion?
So moved.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Made, proper second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. First item of business is the adoption of the minutes from the April 7th meeting. I also emailed each of you an opportunity to look over those. Are there any corrections that need to be made to the minutes from April 7th? If there are none, we'll take them for the adoption of minutes.
So motion, Mr. Chairman.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Hearing none. Those minutes are adopted. No old business coming to the board this time. We have some new business. Every year, the board is charged to elect officers. At this time, we will elect new officers for the board. The first office that is up for re-election is the office chairman. The floor is open for nominations for chairman of the board. Is there a nomination for chairman?
Yes, I have a nomination, Mr. Chairman, if I may. Just a brief comment that the fiscal year that we're about to complete has been very tough, very challenging, but also very productive. And I believe that's been on account of your leadership. So trusting that you're with it, I would like to nominate Terry Bernard to be our chairman for the upcoming fiscal year.
Chairman Meredith, is there a second to the nomination?
Second.
So much. I will certainly accept. It has been a challenging year, but maybe this year coming forward will be a little smoother, but there's a lot of things to get done yet. There's a motion and a second on the floor. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Like sign. Congratulations to me. So moving now to our second office was the office of vice chairman. And I will place a nomination, Vice Chairman Mills, for the second term. Is there a second to the nomination?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Like sign. None. It's carried. Congratulations. You guys get the same old same vote. We'll move now to our second item of business, which is the approval of the resolution from our budget director, Director Reed. If you come and present the budget.
Morning. The resolution before you is the vehicle that we use to take official action to request bonds to be sold that have been appropriated. It's fairly similar to what many of you have seen it the last few years. It establishes the JISVIC authority over the bonds. It refers to the appropriations bill. At the bottom of the page, first page gives the total amount. it goes on to state that the board agrees to have a specific spending plan within the parameters of GISFIC. And then the third page is all about the board resolving to follow GISFIC regulations in terms of the way the bonds are spent. The last page references, the attachment references the total amount, which this year is $765,000, which will replace 34 vehicles for the board.
For his presentation, are there any questions? Questions? There are no questions. Is there a motion to adopt the resolution? So moved. Second? Second? Second. Motion is second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. Proposal adopted.
Thank you.
So today we're going to have, instead of Director Staten come and bring the proposal before us, we're going to have Chris. There you are. Chris, you're going to come now and bring the balance of policy. This will start with number 1.100.
Yes, sir. Board policy 1.100, board policy field operations manual format distribution. Typographical error was removed in section 1.104.3. The term "if applicable" was added into section 1.106.3.3.4 when referring to the requirement of having new employees read the field operations manual.
Any questions? Motion to adopt the proposal. So moved. Motion, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, hearing none. Adopted. Proposal 1.126.
Sir, board policy 1.126, central office emergency response plan. Section 1.106.10, replace the term 14th floor with 8th floor when referring to agency emergency coordinators. A listing of those coordinators, the floor coordinators, will be added via hyperlink in the board policy as well.
Questions from members? Hearing none. Is there a motion to adopt?
So motion.
The motion is second. David, say aye. Any opposed, like sign. None. Proposal has been adopted. Next is 2.138.
Board policy 2.138, community service work by parolees, a comma was removed in section 1.105, and in section 1.106.1, capitalization of the word releasee is removed.
Questions from members? Hearing none, the motion will be adopted.
So moved. Second.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Hearing none, adopted as well.
Yes, sir.
That's up the new business that I have in the agenda for new business. Let's see, Rick Marson, you have a guest there. You want to introduce your guest?
Yes, sir, certainly. First of all, congratulations, Chairman and Vice Chairman, on your reappointment. And I may have missed something. I keep hearing HB 310. Am I missing something? No, on a serious note, a lot of good positive work's taking place, and this is Mike Kraft. He's my counterpart over on the probation side, and he recently relocated to headquarters, and we're working side by side and getting a lot of good progress under our belt. So Mike had never been to a board meeting, so we wanted to come and see what it's all about.
Congratulations.
Kind and familiar faces. It's nice to see y'all again. Thank you.
Appreciate the hard work you're doing at the probation. Excellent job. We do our continued service together.
Thank you.
If I could, I'll go ahead and introduce the parole officers while I'm here. First of all, Amanda Jordan. She is a recently promoted district director, which was previously known as regional director, but she is now district director here in Atlanta, and she brings with her some new parole officers into the field. Catherine McKinnon from Carrollton, Carolyn McIntyre from Douglasville, Matthew Blay from Dalton, and Darren Tucson from Gainesville. So welcome, and the floor is back to you.
I didn't know you already hired someone for Chris Martin's job already.
That was an easy replacement, sorry. Now, Roy Fry has replaced Chris as a district director as well.
Mr. Chairman, if you don't mind, we missed one person on that list there from West Ed, Justin Creek. Apologize for that. That was my fault.
Sorry, David, you just sitting right
It's because he's real fat.
behind. Maybe you'll see the correction.
And Angie Robbins from Carrollton.
Then you'll see the correction in your check next month.
I'm sorry, the last, I did.
I'm Angie Robbins from Carrollton.
Very good. We're at this point where we're going to hear from our director.
Well, good morning. David will surely appreciate his new assignment down to, hey, Hiram, next week, no problem. Wow, 30 days since the last time I stood here. They told me when I first took over this job that it'd be like drinking from the information fire hydrant. I'll stand here today to tell you I think they had about 4 of them pointed at me over the last 30 days, but great learning opportunities, and I stand before you and confidently say that I truly believe the board is in a better place now. Its future is brighter. The enhancements that we're going through now will put us in a better spot, and we stand in a better place now than we did 30 days. And in 30 days from now, I hope to say that again to you each time I stand before you. I'd like to start by recognizing our dedicated staff. As this week has been declared by Governor Nathan Deal as State Employee Recognition Week. So with that, thank y'all. Thank y'all for being here. Thank you for your dedication, your hard work to the citizens of Georgia. And at this time, I'd also, if you give me just a minute, allow our Director of Clemency to step up and recognize one of our recent additions to the Clemency Division.
Yes. Good morning. It's my pleasure to introduce our newest hearing examiner. She is the former Master Chief Parole Officer in the Lawrenceville office, Ms. Colleen Monte. Welcome.
I won't say that I promoted her to Master Chief or anything, but you know, I think the world of it. She's going to do great down here. I will say in reference to the State Employee Recognition Week, tomorrow, May 6th, is actually the State Employee Recognition Day. And to celebrate that day here in Central Office, we'll be providing our Central Office staff with a free ice cream, kind of an ice cream social during your lunch or break hour. So please come join us here in the board hearing room tomorrow afternoon and pick up your free ice cream. So, with that, I'll move into the actual director's report and say that we're continuing to work with our partners around the state and within the criminal justice bill to work in the transition of the Department of Community Supervision. As Chairman stated earlier, it is set to be signed by Governor Deal this Thursday in Augusta at the Daniel Field Airport at 9 a.m. A lot of great progress has already been made. We are really moving into the next era in community supervision here in Georgia, and the future looks bright, not only for the board, but for our field supervision partners. So thank you for all the hard work. I'm also proud to announce that the board has been selected by the National Parole Resource Center as one of the 5 states to receive technical assistance on strategic planning and target identification. The board has a rich history of kind of mapping and plotting its progress to success, or its path to success. This type of technical assistance will ensure that we stay on the forefront of the paroling authorities in the nation and remain the #1 paroling authority in the nation. So I welcome that. More to come on that as we move forward, but a great honor to be selected as one of the 5. really that's the end of my report, unless I guess I could go over a couple more policies like 2.57893, something like that. But with that, without any questions, that concludes my report. Thank you.
I want to take an opportunity to introduce a special guest this time. It's not so often the board has invited back before itself some of our success stories. We hear that our field division has been sometimes 74%, sometimes 72% success ratios, which means that the field's doing a pretty good job in transitioning rollees. But we never really see the faces so much. And today I've actually invited one of those faces, but Randy Davis is currently on parole. He has not yet completed that term. I don't know exactly when Randy your time in as far as parole, but I think we're still on parole. Yes, correct. But Randy, he's a success story up and coming, and I wanted him to come and share with the board maybe where he's come from and where he's at now. But Randy, come up if you will to the podium, and let me tell you a little bit about who he is while he comes up and how I met him. 23 months ago, a month shy of 2 years, this board actually paroled him, went out on active supervision. And I found Randy actually in Central Georgia in Macon, Central State Prison, when I visited down there. And at that time, it's an interesting thing. He only had one question, and that was, somewhere in the future, am I going to get my PIC credits? And so I came back to look at his PIC credits, and frankly, asked the board to look at Randy's case a little earlier. Not only did he get his PIC credits, but he got considered earlier and released a little earlier. And this will be today a testimony of the fruits of basically the work of the board and the success that has come from that decision. Randy, I don't know what your case was, and what it was, I guess you did a plea bargain. Yes. But what were you actually locked up for?
Robbery by intimidation.
Go ahead and tell us your story.
Well, I'm honored by the invitation. Good morning, Chairman and Board. It's going to take me a few minutes to get over my nervousness.
Yeah, take your time. Just speak it up. Take your time. Well, you're among friends. Don't worry. You're already out.
It's overwhelming to be here. I am a Braille specialist at Georgia Tech. I had the opportunity to get that position because of prison. After entering prison, I really devoted all of my time and being to deconstructing who I was and reconstructing who I was. And not long after that journey began, the opportunity to learn and do Braille revealed itself there at Frank Scott State Prison. So I jumped at the opportunity, and thus my journey in Braille began. The program in and of itself is great. There are 34 in the United States. There are over 1,500 visually impaired children in the state of Georgia. And that is the focus of our Braille program is central, is to produce books for those children. It was an opportunity to get out of myself and help another. That was the main draw. The amazing thing is, I believe I received more help than I gave. I'm here today because of that program and the opportunity that gave me to become a good qualified transcriber. It's upwards of at least a bachelor's degree diploma. There are no free world courses for this. The industry understands that prison Braille programs. As you see, I work at Georgia Tech, a facility that does not hire people with criminal backgrounds, but they made an exception for me. A good friend of mine, my co-training coordinator, Jason Wilson, was just released last week, and he was hired in prison by American Freedom House for the Blind. I myself was basically headhunted in prison by Georgia Tech. This program, we at AMAC started our own Braille program in Alamo, Georgia last year. We have 9 inmates right now. I like to call them participants in the program. They're excited. We recently had our first guy certified as a literary Braille transcriber. So it's kind of come full circle for me that I was able to be a part of a prison Braille program. It afforded me the opportunity to advance myself and help others to achieve a great job. And now I'm able to give back via the same route by training the guys at another prison Braille program. I also work with the largest program we have. It's in Texas. It's a women's program. They do a lot of work for us, and we go there a couple of times a year to produce training and workshops and things like that. It's an amazing opportunity for guys in prison to be able to give back. It's a rare thing, at least in my limited perspective. Maybe y'all know more than me. But that opportunity really helped rebuild my self-esteem, my self-worth, and I will promote prison Braille programs to my last breath. I'm here to do that, just that. If you aren't aware, or if you haven't been aware, please check out prison Braille programs. You have one at Central State Prison called Georgia Braille Transcribers. And of course, we have one in Alamo, Georgia. And my current dream hope, as I spoke to you, Mr. Barr, is to establish a reentry vehicle for these guys. The one that Jason Wilson is a part of is the first formal reentry Braille training program. It only has 6 slots available. Jason is the second one to make it there. Unfortunately, a lot of states, parole boards are not releasing the accepted participants to the program, so they're having difficulty. I'm thankful that I got a chance to meet Mr. Barr, and he is aware of our program and benefits that they offer us. I was a restaurant manager before I went in. Had a happy childhood, but I was in prison. There's no way I was going to be able to manage a restaurant again. I could be able to handle any type of money, any job that had to do with money. That was all I knew. And, so I just knew I was going to come out making minimum wage, which is fine. But this opportunity means so much, not only to me, but to my new daughter, my family, mostly to the kids who we provide the textbooks for, have the opportunity to further their education. It's wonderful to be a part of that.
Board members may want to ask you a question. Tell the board how many years you served.
I served over 8 years in prison. Started out at Frank Scott. Not 6 months after I got to Frank Scott, the program started. So I got in at the ground floor of the program. We grew together.
Let me, commend you for the progress you made. You're a living example of what parole board is all about. Thank you, Mr. Sherman, for giving this man an opportunity to come and tell his story. I'm inspired by what I hear. You were a restaurant manager before you were convicted, and I don't know that there's a profile for one who commits a robbery by force, but certainly you don't fit what I would call profile. And you may not want to comment on this. You must have been just at a really bad place in your life at the time.
Horrible.
Good you moved from that. Congratulations to you again.
Well, I appreciate each and every one of you gave me the opportunity.
Any other questions? What are your goals now that you're at, and again, I'll just reemphasize what's been said, congratulations, excited for you. What are your goals from this point forward?
One is to promote prison braille programs. I'm trying to get more involved in one that is in Louisville, Kentucky, the first one of its kind, to further help prison braille programs any way I can. I'm still affiliated via work with Georgia Braille Transcribers. Like I said, I'm the training coordinator for the one that we are establishing. I help train the Mountain View program. I would like, again, my main dream is to have a re-entry vehicle for these guys. A way, one of the participants that came out of our program didn't have any means to get going, and we need a computer, we need software, we need things to do our job. So I was thankful to be able to provide these materials for him so that he can begin his Braille career. To help. That's now my greatest joy, is when I have an opportunity to help. Right now, my focus is through the Braille vein. Seems to be my journey, my path. So anything I can do with that, I'm all for it. Aside from working at Georgia Tech, I also have my own Braille business at home. So I'm just trying to get as involved as possible to help both sides, the kids that need these materials and men and women that are getting the opportunity to produce these materials.
The program that you mentioned, Alamo, that's actually a private prison.
It is.
And through Georgia Tech and your help, you actually opened that program?
Yes.
How long has it been?
We opened in August of 2014. Interesting enough, they contacted us. How they figured it out, I'm not sure. But certainly a collaborative effort. We provide the training and the materials. They provide the facilitator, the space, and the furniture. So it's a very working relationship. They do work with us very well. It's not normal protocol in the prison Braille industry to have such a working relationship with the parent administration. That's certainly not with the program. So it's very exciting for us Braille participants here in Georgia. We have this awareness growing for our programs.
Good question. What's the percentage of placement for those individuals that complete their certification?
Placement
in Georgia.
In Georgia, placement at an agency, at doing Braille.
Correct. Employment.
Employment. Great. I can't give you a percentage. I don't know it. I know that from AMAC's perspective, we could use at least 50 more transcribers right now. The whole industry is dearth of quality transcribers. The industry is built on volunteers. Somewhere in the mid-'70s, they made a mandate where all education materials would be made accessible to visually impaired. So the industry is still infant. And the need for quality transcribers is great. So anyone that has I would say one advanced certification would almost be guaranteed employment. I don't see how they wouldn't be guaranteed employment. The ladies that we work with at Mountain View, when they get out, we definitely employ them. Of course, my boss came from my program. His previous boss at AMAP came from our program.
When you say out in your program, you mean the Department of Corrections program?
Georgia Braille transcribers at Central State Prison that produced my boss, his boss previously, who resigned to start his own. He's still doing Braille and started a whole nother business. We got both of those things going on, and it's wanting now to come back to us. If I were to label a percentage on it, I would at least 90 to 95%. If they were to have advanced certifications, means that they took the time and put the energy into studying this stuff. It's not easy, and that separates them. And the more, there's 5 total certifications, the more of those they get, the better their odds are. Thankfully, we just received a contract from the National Literary Service from the Library of Congress that affords us the ability to produce novels now, which can be done by lesser certified transcribers. So now a lot of the women that are coming out of Mountain View facility who don't have the advanced certification can still gain employment because we are able to give them a lesser technical job.
Could you comment briefly on the process that you went through to get clearance to go to work at Georgia State and get the exception? Did you need to call on the parole board, your parole officer? Did you need an attorney? How did you go about that?
Well, I interviewed on June 18th, 13 days after I was released. And through that, I believe I asked Mr. Barnhart for a recommendation. I'm not sure it ever materialized, but I certainly asked.
You did it on your own.
Okay. Well, my 2 program administrators from the
I
Georgia
did
Braille.
communicate with someone, but I never actually had to do anything. You did it all on your own.
Certainly had a lot of help out of that. So, I did not have to get an attorney. What helped my situation out was my boss had been through the process. His boss had been through the process. Third person down the row was the lady who came out of the Mountain View prison program. She had been through the process. So the path was kind of paved. My difficulty was we had a whole new HR department. So nobody at the HR department knew about the situation. Even though I had previous people cleared a path, now we were walking into a new jungle, per se. But we had a lot of good supporting evidence. Right now, the latest data is a 0.3 recidivism rate for anyone coming out doing Braille. I had my director, I had Bill Hinton. I'm not sure if y'all recognize the name Bill Hinton, but he was a former warden, and thankful I had the opportunity to work on him he was my program administrator at Georgia Braille Transcriber. I had the first interview on June 18th. Of course, I didn't get hired until March 19th. It was a very long process.
Something interesting that it's some, I don't remember how many members of the program in Central State. You know how many people are actually in Central State? Actually
I don't know. It was 12 to 1,500, I think.
No, I mean in
the program.
In the program.
It's 19 at the moment, but the sad part about that is they can have up to 30. Not sure what's going on.
I didn't know the number. I know there's a number of folks there, but from time to time, some of those guys get paroled, and when they do, they don't go into work release. And funny thing, we actually paroled one a year ago, and he was put in work release. We went to Phillips, and first of all, he went to heavy equipment driving, and then something happened with that program, so they moved him to butchering chickens or fluffing chickens, and then so then ultimately Randy's actually moved him back to Macon and put him in the self-made work release program. And he completed the work release program with around $10,000.
It's amazing to be able to have that opportunity.
With that many openings in the program, what is the level of literacy required to get into the program?
Right now, the standard is at 8.5 on the testing or the literacy center. Certainly takes someone with at least that amount of reading ability. When I started the program, I had no computer experience at all. I was kind of anti-technology at the time, and so when I started the program, I had to learn how to use a computer. I didn't even know how to turn it on. I had to ask the first day, how do you turn this on?
I have a question also. How are the participants screened? It's just open to those individuals that are at Central State Prison or at Mountain View or at
Alamo, Georgia.
Right, Alamo
Wheeler
State Prison.
Wheeler, the private prison.
Okay. How are those individuals selected to participate in the program? Is it just if you're there and you're actually physically at the institution, then basically you petition to go, or is there some type of assessment that's done and then statewide, or I don't know, you may not know, maybe Brian can shed some light on that to get people to funnel into that program?
Right now, the opportunity available to transfer from other prisons is very rare. I think we only have one person at Georgia Bureau transfer do that. When I began, they just needed bodies, so they were just trying to fill seats as fast as possible, and then began refining the process. Of course, you have vocational testing and just general testing, and then each program has their own standards. So each program administrator has freedom to set those standards and protocols. The one at Wheeler, our program administrator is very active in pursuing what she feels are good personality candidates. She has a listing. I didn't bring it here, but she has a listing of criteria that they must meet. I'm not so sure I'm a fan of that style because I don't know if I would have met it. A lot of success candidates in our program might not have met certain criteria, but we were afforded an opportunity anyway. So other than basic standard reading ability, that would be the minimum. I would like a little bit of math comprehension as well. But other than that, I wouldn't personally have a whole lot of standards in place. I'm not sure what protocols I would use. Motivation, energy, passion, desire, willingness to help. Those are the things I like.
We really appreciate you coming and presenting to us today. One thing he hasn't mentioned to you, 23 months out of prison, he actually just recently bought a brand new home on his own credit. So, wow, you're a big success story. We wish you a lot of success, and thanks for coming and sharing. I don't think that we have any other business this time. This will be our place for public comments. The board will not adjourn from any specific offenders at this time. If you have comments on specific offenders, we do have a call line. You can call 446-564-6661. But if there's something that you want to comment on anything that we discussed during today's board meeting, the floor is open for those kind of comments. Other comments? No comments. Is there a motion that we adjourn?
So motion.
With a motion, is there a second? With a second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? This meeting